A very good warm welcome to everybody this evening. This is the Season 3 wrap-up here on PUBG Africa, sponsored by PUBG and We Buy Cars. I am Sean Mumford, known as also Godfather. I am your host for tonight as well. We're going to have some interviews here with the members of Four Kings, Inexorable Gaming and Nos Gaming, wrapping it up as well with the interviews with also our PUBG admin crew. We're going to have a little bit of a chat to see, let you guys in on what's maybe happening in the future, what's going to be, getting in, into everything. Just a quick side note as well, guys. I know everybody's obviously, there was a lot of upset people. There's a lot of happy people yesterday as well. Let's chat. Let's not go over yesterday. I've now done all the due diligence. I've now done all the reporting. I've done everything. I've gone through all the games. I've also submitted all the Steam accounts of all the players playing in the finals. No one's hacking. No one's doing anything wrong. I've done everything. So I've spoken to obviously the teams involved as well, some of the teams involved as well. They are happy with the decisions that are going forward as well. So there's absolutely nothing that anyone can say or do to any team whatsoever anymore. So I just want to put it out there, guys. Let's stop in the chats, also in the Discord as well. It's now done. It's finalized. Everything's sorted. You know what? Let's go continue. Let's congratulate our winners. Let's congratulate the top 3 people. Let's congratulate everybody. Let's celebrate in the moment that we've had. We've done season 3 here as well. It's the second successful season at PUBG Africa. Well, this is the third successful season that we've done this year. And another big prize pool that we've actually been managing to put up as well. So yeah, let's celebrate in that fact as well, guys. Let's celebrate that fact. That's always a good thing to do. Let me bring in my co-host as well here, as we're going to head over towards that scene. My co-host here for the first bit of the podcast, Mr. Nelius Viking himself. How are you doing, friend? How are you doing?
I'm okay, as good as I can be, I guess.
Obviously disappointing for yesterday as well for you guys. We'll get into that a bit later with the interview with you, specifically with your team. But you got your admin hat on right now. We're going to be dealing with a whole bunch of stuff regarding just for the PUBG Africa Season 3 stuff. I think let's get right into it, Viking. We don't want to take too much of everybody's time this evening. So let's have the official leaderboard. Here we go. This is now the official leaderboard. We have the final standings here, and the Four Kings, as we mentioned yesterday, taking that top spot, 3 points ahead of Inexorable Gaming and our third place team, Nos Gaming, with 135 points. 100 points difference between first and third. And Viking, if you're looking at that, it was a 2-horse race all the way through.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think if you compare it to season 2, there was a way bigger difference within the two teams since the beginning. I think since day one, they just pulled it out the park and went off with it, and no one was getting any closer at any of the days. So yeah, just like you said, a 2-horse race from the start.
Yeah, 2-horse race from the start. We have also Nos Gaming. We will come into them a little bit later. I think with Nos, we saw them really good in the group stages, and it kind of just, they couldn't get that momentum. They had a couple of difficult days as well, but they just couldn't get that momentum to even compete with the Four Kings and yourselves as well.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely saw them having a great performance in the group stages, like you said, and they were dominating the group stages. And then came the finals, and I think day 1 they made it to 8th, and then day 2 they kind of fell out of the top 8. And then the last week they started coming back, and then seriously fighting for that third spot, which they ended up claiming last night.
Yeah. And then High Voltage, we're just going to go quickly. We're not going to go through all the teams here. We're just going to highlight a couple teams here that, disappointing performances, good performances. I must say for High Voltage, 50 FPS, or also known as Arcane, bossed it for his team. He definitely came and risen above. I mean, this team played 2-man or 3-man, and they got into 4th position. I mean, that is a feat in itself. Let's be honest. We had most of the teams over here, except for mainly Fractus Elite, was also playing never a full-man team there as well. But a couple of teams were doing it. Same with Ninjas and Bikinis, but High Voltage never played with a full 4-man team, and they still came forth. That is an achievement, I think, in itself, and showing that the full man teams should consider that you can do it with 3 people.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the first week they were playing 4-man, and then the first week, in the first 2 days they were playing 4-man most of the games. Then came day 3, they were playing 2-man, and then the last day they were 3-man again.
Yeah.
But definitely gaining a lot of their points within that 2-man and 3-man stages, which is, from their perspective, a real good achievement.
Yeah.
Being able to do that a player down.
100%. We got Ninjas and Bikinis are defending champions. Well, were the defending champions. That it just wasn't their tournament. I saw on Twitter as well, Resnad said we only play 4-man for only 3 games in the first week. There we go. See, so there we go. Arcane confirming that as well. So it was just literally only 3 games that they played out of the 20. So still an achievement in itself. But in Ninjas and Bikinis, I mean, Resnad said it wasn't their season. It wasn't to be. They ended up 6th. With all the issues they were having in between the finals. I think they can be happy that they even got into a points-paying position, because it looked a bit dicey for them at times.
Yeah, I mean, they still have the capabilities and the potential to frag out, but like playing with the less amount of members is a real big disadvantage. Especially if there's issues between the teammates. But I mean, that's part of being a solid team, is having that problems figured out before the tournament.
Yeah.
So just unfortunate that those things came up during the finals.
Yeah, 100%. My biggest surprise, I would say, well, not really a surprise. We knew they could do it, but I mean, for me, real OGs, it was a newly formed team, getting themselves, they got the OGs of the, PUBG scene, of the African PUBG scene together, and they performed well. I mean, they came in 8th, they're going to win some money, and I think job done for them in the essence.
Yeah, I mean, they had their ups and their downs, but ultimately at the end of the day, they made it to top 8, which was, I would say, which was their goal. I think for me specifically, the team that stood out for me the most in the top 8 is Fury Crew. I mean, they participated in season 1. I think they were like a mid-tier team in season 1, and then kind of fell apart. They didn't even play in season 2 because they had a lot of issues with their team members and stuff. And I honestly, even though they have some great players, I just didn't expect them, since they haven't been in the scene for a while, I didn't expect them to make it into the top 8. And I mean, they were playing, they were getting the kills and taking on some of the big fights. So I mean, Fury Crew came out smashing without the season 2 experience, which really surprised me.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. I think my biggest shock out of all of this, and I've spoken to the teammates as well. I've also apologized for my harsh comments on them as well. White Rabbit Gaming. I think not many people would expect them to be down in 11th position.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one to take, even for us. Obviously, that being the only other South African team, it's difficult seeing that we're so far apart. Definitely some great players in that team, and definitely expected them to be in the top 8. But I mean, I was chatting to them here and there, and watching their replays, and some of the games they really had some real bad luck.
They did.
I think I think that might have drawn their morale and confidence down quite a bit in the first week or 2, and they just couldn't pick themselves up again.
Yeah, 100%. But I mean, they showed the games that they showed they could play, they can definitely compete with the teams, and I hope to see them back next year when we start hosting up the seasons again, and make it a solid commitment, get a solid structure in place to get themselves up there as well, because we want to be seeing this team. They've been the longest standing team in the SA scene specifically, but like throughout the whole PUBG since they started, they've been the longest standing team. So for them to be down there is not what you would normally see, but I mean that is the way it goes. And I think the other team that also kind of shocked me as well that weren't up there, which had the potential to do it, in our team. I mean, our utility kings here, in our team. We've seen still Twister and his teammates still made, and Kanan, all of them still made great utility throws, but they just didn't capitalize on much in the finals. I mean, they're sitting down in 14th, and that's why they're there, I guess, because they just didn't capitalize.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they made it into like 6th in season 2, and I mean, they came out of nowhere and just fragged out. I mean, just clapped like everybody. And just in the group stages, you could still see it, right? They were there and just taking on fights and destroying some of the top teams, but you just never saw them anywhere in the finals.
Yeah, I agree.
They just were even like I said, some of the other teams, like you basically even forgot about them in the lobby. You didn't see them in the kill feed. They just never really showed up in a big way,
in the final, which we know they can do. We've been mentioning them in season 2. They were a big surprise new team coming in, and it just kind of fell away from them as well. But it's the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. And I know you mentioned it yesterday. It's the way the cookie crumbles as well. Sometimes it just doesn't pan out. It just doesn't pan out at all. Anyway, that's the standings. We know who our winners are. Let's go into a little bit of stats here, guys, because some of you guys do like the stats. So I love the stats. The team stats first off here, and then we're going to go into the special awards and the special prizes and whatever worth $120, which will then, at the end of all of that, we'll show you guys the combined winnings of each team as well. Here are the team stats sorted by the damage. And I would say no real surprise because I know what the stats are looking at, but the damage for Inexorable Gaming, you guys take the top spots. You take that honor of the damage being the most there. And I think overall, you guys were pretty far in terms of damage ahead of 4Kings there as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the total damage, I mean, 3,000 isn't that far apart. Yeah, I think the damage to kill ratio, it's definitely better on their side.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I mean, I think we really did our best. We gave it our all, and I mean, 4Kings did an amazing job as well. So I mean, I didn't expect anything less from the stats point of view.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the only real shock for me is you look at Fractus Gaming, look at the amount of damage they've done, and they ended up in 10th position. In the standings, and they're 5th in terms of damage. I mean, that's big numbers that they've been pushing up. Also, maybe just not capitalizing on their amount of kills. I mean, 64 kills in total for the season. It's a good stat, but I mean, it's not the stat you would have wanted at the end.
Yeah, I mean, it can be difficult, but I mean, if you look at the amount of damage they did compared to some of the other teams that made it into the top 8, there must have been some scenarios where they probably just got knocks, but they didn't do anything with it, So they kept on getting the knocks, and then, just didn't take a chance on using those knocks, So I mean, definitely you can see that they have the potential to take the fights. They just need to, I think, just coordinate when they want to take the fights a bit better.
Also, like I said, consistency in the stream as well for Fractus Gaming. They do so well in the last days. I mean, they proved it twice. In the last day of their group stage, they did really well. In the last day yesterday, they did really well again. Above and beyond what they were doing in the previous days. So consistency for them, and then I think you're going to see them actually come further up there as well. Crushes Esports, our new team that also came placed in season 3 here as well, performed well. They did really well in the group stages. Obviously didn't have the best of times going through the finals. They had a really bad day too, but still managed in the last day, showing that they're there to play. They're here to win something,
Yeah, no, definitely.
So that's the team stats as well. Let's go into the special prizes as well. And like I mentioned throughout the podcast last week and through the streams on Friday and Sunday It's all about the stats. So here we go. The most kills here by players will go to Hot Diggity. Will get the most kills here. 46 kills coming out there for Hot Diggity. He'll win himself $20 there. Remember, all the prizes here for the $20 gets put into the pool for the whole team as well. We also will go over like the little admin thing for the winnings at the end as well. But Hot Diggity takes out the most kills there with 46 kills. 50 FPS, 44 kills. Kandam with 44 and Ben Lagan with 40. I mean, 50 FPS, and we mentioned earlier, he had a great final. I mean, for him to be up there, his team obviously not managing to get all the points that they needed, obviously. But I mean, 44 kills by himself here as well. I mean, that's a big achievement as well. And he's the only high voltage member in the top 16 that's got in the top 16 top kills here.
Yeah, I mean, Arkan 50 FPS, he was just running around, taking on team fights, getting the kills here and there. And then in many occasions, he would go and like try to third party, get a few kills. And then what was good about them is they would get the kills they could and then get out. They wouldn't because they had them like the disadvantage because of the members. A lot of times they would go get the kills, pull out, and then wait for another fight to break out and then engage on that again. So they really took their opportunities wisely. And 50 FPS really like hitting the shots in those scenarios and just claiming a lot of kills.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I see here Ben Lagan saying that Arkan is the African Tiggleton. I could get behind that.
I mean, I don't know. I think was it week 1?
Yeah,
where I think we can make like a whole montage of all the whiffs.
Yeah, that's true as well. I caught a couple of the whiffs on Arkan, but I mean, he knows he's done a fantastic job nonetheless for his team there. I must say, he's one of the standouts in terms of this stat over here. We know Hot Diggity's good. We know that he's had a lot of kills. I mean, he performed really well throughout this whole season, so he grabs himself extra $20 there as well. So let's move over towards the most damage here as well, the top 16 damage dealers, and on the top spot here is yourself with 9,213 damage. I mean, I remember after day 1 looking at the stats, you were way ahead of everybody else already, but I mean, how do you feel about that? You earned yourself an extra $20 there as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a nice feeling, Obviously, I still feel like I could have been doing better in certain scenarios, but I definitely feel like I've the practice or the effort that I've been putting in before the time has paid off. Hitting the shots, even like on distance. I know.
Hey, you're doing your SR shots now. I mean, it's doing SR shots, and you had a couple throughout the finals.
So, I mean, even like I think that the best part for me was hitting those shots over distance. Like, it's always easy to hit the shots. Well, not easy, but it's easier to hit the shots within like 100 meters. But I was consistently getting my shots in. I mean, I want to say like over 400 meters, tagging people. I mean, not like lasering them, but like out of the mag, I would like do quite a decent damage or even knock some players. Which was for me, I'm feeling really proud of, like hitting the shots. And yeah, I mean, it's nice to know that the hard work has paid off.
Nice, 100%. I see Soda again in 8th position there, and overall in the top damage as well for his team. He was also 8th in the top kills as well. So, at least he bought something for White Rabbit Gaming there as well. 50 FPS. 6,896 damage with those 44, so he definitely made use of those kills that he got there as well. So definitely a very good kill to damage ratio there for 50 FPS as well. So that gets you there. Next special prize, or the extra prizes that we're giving away, is for the most revives. Pretty much the team medic of the team, the guy who's always there getting the revives. Let's have a look at that. Start the top 16 players here going out. Hot Diggity yet again coming out with 18 revives on your team. And I mentioned this in the stream a lot as well, between even yourselves and Four Kings, mainly, is that and you can see the revives there coming out from Bin Laden and Kandam. You guys fought for everything. You made sure that you try to keep as many players alive as often as possible. And it proves it in the stats here, because literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the top 8 is the 2 top teams. So it proves that you guys were fighting tooth and nail to try and make sure that you guys kept as many players alive throughout the games.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's kind of unfair how Hort can be the medic and the fragger. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know how he does both, but yeah, I think from my perspective, I think that's the one element that made Four Kings as good as they were. I mean, obviously we were focusing on them in the kill feed, and I want to say, if you go look at the teams getting knocked, I want to say Four Kings probably got knocked the most as well, because you just see them getting knocked like throughout the game. But then the worst part is you get to the late game and they're still 4-man up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're sitting there like, how did they fight 5 teams? And in like all 5 of those team fights, 3 of them were knocked, but they still got all 3 revived. And that, I think that was the best thing from Four Kings, is the fact that they would take the fights and still walk away with 4 members, even though they got knocked so many times.
Yeah.
And that really propelled them into that top spot.
Yeah, 100% team play in the end of the day. It comes on that they managed to, at least someone could, come up and clutch it out for them and, win it out for them again. Like, it's obviously good communication as well within the team as well. So, I mean, like I said, hot ticket, you'll take that extra $20 as well. Next one will be the longest survivors as well. Coming out here, $20, and Bin Laden will be the longest survivor for 529 minutes. We're not going to worry about the extra seconds there, but it's 529 minutes that he survived out. Hot Diggity coming in second with 511, and then yourself with 506 minutes. And obviously, we know that it's going to be littered with NX and Four Kings within the top 8. That's for sure, because I mean, you guys won the most chicken dinners out of everybody in any case, so that it just comes there as well. So Bin Laden coming out there also for that final game would have pushed that minutes up quite a bit there as well, for that final game that he played there, coming in 5th. And then them taking out the championship in the end. But he'll earn himself and his team an extra $20 there as well. And then we don't really have all this stuff.
I did the math quickly, right? So in total, Bin Laden survived 8.8. So let's say almost 9 hours of gameplay.
Yeah, that's
long.
That's long. That's a long time. But
I mean, if you take a look at it, 20 games, it's like, let's say 32 minutes, I think, is like the longest game. So, I mean, they survived until the end of almost every game, So, I mean, great stuff coming out of it.
100%. It is the longest kills, even though Bin Laden doesn't want us to consider it, but we did consider it because we didn't want it to all just be about, this. And now the next one is the longest kill. There's only one stat that we got though, because it's very difficult to get these stats as well. But it is Twister from the NR team with a 610 meter kill there, which I am busy trying to source, which then we'll post onto the social medias as well of that clip as well. We just couldn't find it in time. It's been a lot of admin work that we've been busy with throughout last night and today as well. Obviously getting everything sorted and making sure all the team accounts were all good. It should be a good clip. Yep, it should be a good clip. We obviously showed that one clip for Diggs as well. He actually held it before. Yeah, he was actually the longest before that onto Archine there. So but obviously sorry, onto Android. Sorry, that was onto Android. I do beg your pardon. But yeah, 610 meters there for Twister. We were going to go and get that one. He'll earn himself there $20 there as well. The next one though is the chicken dinners, the most amount of chicken dinners, and we ummed and ahed about this one. I couldn't get the stats out for you guys to display, but we did tally up all the chicken dinners. And for NX, they won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chicken dinners for Inexorable Gaming. 4Kings won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chicken dinners. Inexorable Gaming will take out the chicken dinners placement there. They will earn themselves another $20 as well. So chicken dinners is what we will give the last prize there to for the teams as well. We couldn't really find much else there. We wanted to do like player of the season, but it's a bit too biased, and we knew that would cause a little bit of riffraff between you oaks, because you guys are sometimes just, you know,
too much
for us to handle sometimes. Let's put it that way. It's a good way to put too much. But anyway, here are the total winnings here for all the teams here, and we'll have a quick discussion. Let me just try and find out where my mouse is going over here, because it seems to be haywiring on itself. But here are the total winnings here for the teams. 4Kings will take home a total of $520 for their troubles. Inexorable will take up $410. Noz with the 200. High Voltage with 100. Crushers will finish up with $60 in their pocket. Ninjas in Bikinis with $40. Furku with 30. 20 for Real OGs, along with the NR team with $20. And there we go. That is the winnings there for everybody. You can see it clear as day. 4Kings, a nice hefty amount of money in their back pocket there as well. And this could not be possible without our sponsors from PUBG and We Buy Cars. A big shout out to them for sponsoring out this tournament. And obviously we got these winnings here. This will be paid out to you guys as well. Our admins, mainly Viking, will be reaching out to you guys to get all your details, so we'll start making out the payments as when we can. Obviously we do allow a 30 days as well for the payouts to be done, as a standard thing for most TOs as well, so just be aware of that fact as well. But yeah, so those are the winnings, and Viking will be getting into you guys as well. Twister, yeah, you forgot about Twister?
Yeah.
Okay,
no. So so we'll try and do the payments as soon as we can, you know. So I'll try to get the details from you guys, and then obviously I'll be discussing it with the teams that are getting something. Just a disclaimer, so the players that won the special prizes, obviously your money will be paid to the team representative as well.
Yeah.
And it's your job to get that extra cut if you want it, or if whatever, from your team captain. So we won't be paying the special prizes to the players individually. You need to make sure that you get that extra part from your team representative.
100%. So that's what we'll be dishing out to all the things, because we'll obviously do it to one payment per team, is pretty much what we're saying. That's exactly what we're saying. So that is it for the winnings and the overall finals. We know who won. 4Kings has won, and that's for them a good thing coming out here. But now, to discuss that, we're going to bring in Kandam from the 4Kings here to a little bit of an interview here from him as we switch over towards that screen here. Mr. Kandam, welcome to the stream, sir. How are you feeling today?
Hey, I'm super good. After yesterday, wow, that was so good games. That 5 games that like full of stress, full of pressure. Wow, that final 5 games that was so hard for us. GG for all the teams, South African and North African teams, especially Inexorable. It's like wow, they like made us so hard to get to top 1. It's like they made it so hard for us, especially for the last game. We were like waiting, looking on the kill field. Yeah, and looking how many of them is still alive. Like we are like chasing them. We need to find out where are they, where they can play. That's the most important game, you know. Like every point is matter of us. Yeah. We need to,
It was. GG, I mean, GG. It was a hype moment. I mean, you guys bought it in that last game. I'm sure you were looking at that at the kill feed even in the previous game before the last game, and you obviously would have noticed that they gone out and you guys didn't win it. And to be within 1 point to the final, tell us your mindset going into there. Obviously, you also had a different team coming on to you on your normal jump location there. What is the mindset going through there now? Because now you guys are under a lot of pressure because you know that it's within grasp now.
Yeah, we've been like 20 points ahead. They were like 20 points ahead of us. So we said, okay, Inex is fighting here in the waypoint in the south. I can see one, I can see two. One knocked, two knocks. They still alive. Where they can play after. We've been like looking on the kill field. Lucky for us, like no one pushed us from behind. We've been like the only team there on the circle at that side. So we've been like playing without pressure, and we talk between us. Don't stress. Like let's keep up together. Don't give like the for how to say for free knocks. Don't give free knock. Don't lose gear.
Yeah.
We should stay together. Come on, 20 points. It's our opportunity. Nix is dead. Wow.
I mean,
was like
I mentioned
great game.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I mentioned it. I was like, I said, Four Kings must be licking their chops right now because I mean, that was your perfect moment. That was your in. That was it, and you brought it into 1 point. Final game now. You know it's 1 point. You know you guys need at least 2 extra points to beat out Inexorable Gaming. If you guys tied, however. If you guys did tie in points, however, you guys would have still won because you had more kills than Inexorable Gaming. In any case, the tiebreaker comes down to the most kills after that. So either way, if you did tie that last game, you guys would have still won it out by just killing more people. But I mean, what was the mindset going into that final game? I mean, you guys got into it. You see a team coming. Obviously, you wouldn't have known who that team was at that stage. We all know who that team was that was jumping on you guys there. But what is that mindset? How did the comms go from there?
Like we've been talking like it's only 1 point. This is the most important game in the 20 games. We should win this. We should keep up together. We should like stay as for. We should rotate safe. We shouldn't like fight in the close range. We should like just pick on the people on the knocks, stall kills, get more points. And the last game was it like you play GTA with 5 stars. Like you drop Shema, you find people with you, and they are chasing you. You go like. Wow, you go west. No one was there. No one rotating for the 10 games in Miramar. Why like 6 teams there? Wow, you are driving your vehicle and you find that bike stop on the street in front of you. Vehicle on your left side of the hill. They stopped. People behind you shoot you with car 98, and you need to get in the zone. Like wow, that was so hard for us. Like for us, Belegan was still alive there, and we escaped from Noz.
Yeah, I mean, you managed to escape. I mean, yourself. I mean, Hunter got taken out first in the early stages by Noz Gaming as well, and then you guys then set up on the hill where Noz came to you guys. I mean, that was a stressful moment. Yourself and Revenge was playing with you guys at that stage, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, in the last game, Revenge was there. Yourself and Revenge get knocked, but Lagan's the last one. Obviously, he yeets it out to the shack. But that should have been stressful at that moment for you guys, because I mean, that was like do or die moment right there for you guys.
Yeah, we know that. Like if you're gonna fight that, we're gonna lose it. We are 2 members alive, and they were 4 guys, and we are the same ridge. Like we're gonna lose that. We're not. No chance to win it, so we need to go. We need to go out. We need to survive. We need to. Fortunately for me, I didn't make it to my vehicle. TF2 took me.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we made it. We made it to the final.
Overall, how you guys feel about the whole tournament? I mean, season 3 is done and dusted. You guys are the champions. Overall, how was the tournament for you guys? Obviously, it's a big high at the end of the game, but overall, group stages, finals, how do you guys find it? How did you guys find it?
Everything was great. Like Viking did a good job there for making people staying in Discord, and like for more security. And you, Godfather, you are the best caster ever in Africa.
Appreciate that.
Like, yeah, you did a great job. You're like doing your best to chase the fights, and And thank you guys. That was very, very great moment for these 2 weeks. And
Oh,
wow.
awesome, good. Any final words to your fans, to anyone you want to shout out to, as your camera goes a little bit awry there. Let's hope it comes back fairly shortly. The camera's just like bugging out there a little bit. Let's just see if I can fix that. There we go. You should be coming back shortly.
Yeah, I'm there.
Let me just quickly do this while we just refresh this browser source here. Just quickly here, gents, while we just get Candam back. There we go, we got him back. Any final words to your fans or to anyone you want to shout out to, your teammates or wherever, your final words here before I let you go?
Yeah, I want to like dedicate this win to every member of For Kings team, my team, Silent Bank, Revenge, Hunter, every one of the team. We worked together, like stick together to the final moment, and yeah, we get it. Cheers to Zelda. He will come back to his team For Kings as he's the founder of the For Kings,
Okay,
so he will
cool.
come back in season 4. And yeah, wait for us in season 4. Let's make
Let's
it
see
again.
if you can do it. I mean, no one has defended their championship in this PUBG Africa ever, so no one's ever defended it. Could you guys be the first team? I'm going to ask you that. My final question: can you guys be the first team to defend your champion status?
Actually, it should be like we will stand there for the season 4. We'll try our best.
That's good.
We will came with new roster maybe, and
okay. Let's see
we
what
will
happens.
try.
Well, thank you so much for joining me this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure having a chat to you as well. Congratulations on winning the PUBG Africa Season 3 finals here. And yeah, until next time, have a great rest of your day, dude. And the next one that we're going to be interviewing here as well is going to be Mr. Viking himself. Yes, he was a co-co. Now he can take off the admin hat and now he can put on the inexorable game, as he needs to still unmute himself as well. Just before.
Yeah.
But yeah. Season 2, you came second. Season 3, we're coming second again. I know it was a tough one for you guys yesterday. Let's get that out the way. How are you guys feeling after today? I know you guys were a bit tilted. You guys were obviously disappointed that you guys just lost out to Four Kings, but a worthy adversary in the end of the day in Four Kings. How's NX doing today?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, yeah, I mean, obviously we had quite a big lead since the beginning. So I mean, Four Kings really did a good job to catch up and then obviously overtake us there at the end. I don't know. I haven't really spoken to the team a lot. I know the morale was quite on a down low last night.
Can you imagine?
Everyone is a bit upset, but we always come back fighting. I mean, at least the consistency is there,
100%.
And I mean, so I think, like we said in the previous podcast, our aim was to make 200 points. Since in the previous season we only made it to 190. So at the end of the day, we reached our goal that we set for ourselves at the beginning of the event. We beat Ninjas and Bikinis points from season 2 as well. So all of our goals, except for winning it, we reached. Just like a bit of an unfortunate ending.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's still a good achievement for us. I think yes, we haven't been the champions, but I think we can say we're the most consistent team.
100%. I would tend to agree with you there as well. I mean, 2 second places, yes, it's not the top spot, but I mean, this kind of builds character for your team. I know your whole team is obviously feeling it right now, and it's understandable. You'd be upset as well. I mean, but there's a lot of positives to look at this team. I mean, you guys have always been the team that's always been up there consistently, even through scrims, through the final, through the group stages, through everything that you guys are playing in. So, I mean, take away from that, you guys are pretty much the most consistent team out there as well. Obviously, coming into that last game, 1 point in it, I asked the same question to Candam. What is the mindset going into that? You got 1 point, you got a 1 point lead at this stage. what is that mindset going into? Is there nerves? Was the team feeling a little bit more nervous than usual, or you still your calm, collected selves that we heard in those comms over Nos Gaming that one game?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was quite difficult um, going from dying early in the previous game
Mm.
because I mean we tried our best to survive there, but the zones just it was just one of those games where it just wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah.
So we rotated, and I think we got into like a real good position, and then it shifted again and again. Like it just basically denied us any entry point at the end, and so we got knocked out early. And then luckily for Kings, they were basically just on the opposite side of the map,
Yeah.
getting all the zones. So I mean, going into the last game, having that 1 point, obviously, I think it was a bit nerve-wracking, knowing that I mean all of our like the lead that we built up has been lost. But we were confident in the fact that we over the 19 games at that point, we were the most consistent. So our strategy was let's just stick to our gameplay. The previous game, it wasn't a good game. I mean the zones just didn't want us in the game. So let's just stick to our gameplay. Let's do what we do, and we should take it. And that was the mentality. And unfortunately, at the end of the day, just losing. Well, we didn't even have any information on ninjas and bikinis, and just getting trapped in that area. And like I think that's where panic set in. We told Narco to just try and hide, and then with Hiken running around there, and so I think once like we saw ninjas and bikinis in our faces, I think that's when panic arose. But before that, we were quite confident in beating Four Kings in that
In that
scenario.
No, 100%. You would have also seen that obviously Hunter was knocked out as well. I'm pretty sure all of you were eyes fixed on that kill feed because I mean you guys want to know exactly what's happening with that team specifically. But I mean overall, I mean you guys did very well throughout the group stages. We saw Nos take it out in the group stages, the most points. Obviously, they would have finished third now, as we'll talk to TF2 about that later on. But overall, for you guys, I mean, you guys are still a decent, strong team here. The guys were saying as well as the whole North versus South, debacle. In essence, there's only two South African teams. The other two practice gaming teams have got, mixture of EU and North African teams as well. But I mean, to be in that sort of status as well, it's definitely you guys are the top at this moment in PUBG Africa, along with Four Kings at this moment. What comes next for Inexorable Gaming? I mean, do you guys buckle down now, take a little bit of a break, and then come back into the new year guns blazing?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we'll give it our all if whatever comes in the future. I think for now we might just obviously I'm writing exams now, so like for the next 2 weeks I'm not going to be online for too much. But I mean it's too difficult to say. Obviously we'll need to see what happens in the new years. I know Ot is really busy, but we'll need to see how everyone's lives turn out. But I think I'll definitely I'm not really someone to not participate. I'm always going to be there. So whichever direction the team goes, I think it was a good year, and hopefully we stick together. I mean, we won't. There's no issues between the team members, so it's more of just like real life issues coming in, and
it's
on that note,
responsibilities in the end of the day.
obviously we're not professional players that sit here and play every day, all day. We've got work and university and studies and stuff. So for us, doing this as our hobby, second place is a good feat,
100%.
Coming back on your topic of North versus South, for me, I think, and for my team, that was the most frustrating concept throughout this event. Yes, I mean, I think everyone knows who our team is, and that kind of, since we are doing so well, that kind of puts a target on our back. But at like some point, like after day 2, it just felt like all the North African teams were gunning it for us, I mean, even in that last game where Ninjas and Bikinis killed us, and then, seeing the comments in Twitch chat saying that they want to keep the championship up in North Africa. And, for me, it's still think that that's what it comes down to, like we are like all the teams are treated on an equal level. And it's just frustrating that like where you live is like determining who's gonna come and fight you. You know, I mean, yes, people are saying in the last game WRG hard dropped 4 kings, but I mean they got out of it fair and square. Meanwhile, we've been contesting our drop spot with no sleep, with Team Ghosts, with Noz, and we didn't moan about it. You know, we didn't send WRG there the last game. I mean, otherwise we would say that, you know, these guys were trying to help out 4 kings or dropping our drop location. So just like the overall comments from, I think that the players themselves, you know, was just what I think got to us at the end.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, like I mentioned in the beginning, it's just like, you know, it was that thing where I said we sorted it out now. So I mean, it can be tilting, but we sorted it out now. We know where we all stand now. So that's, you know, in the end of the day, and that's exactly what we want to know. But overall, obviously, like you mentioned, you quickly mentioned it there. It's been a good year for Enix. I mean, I think you guys have like been the most consistent, and yeah, I think you guys can take away from that being, you know, you guys did win a lot of the, you know, special prizes as well. Being, you know, hot, being on top of the stats. You know, your team is consistently there on the top stats as well. We saw that even in last year's prize giving as well. You know, in near the end of the thing as well, we saw Hot getting quite a bit of the stuff as well. So he's kept his form there as well. So take away from that, you know, NX has done a good job.
Big shout out to Don and Arco as well. You know,
Mm.
obviously they started quite fresh at the beginning of last year into the team. And I mean, me and Ort were, you know, way ahead of them at that time. And to see them grow over the year, I mean, they're like to me, I'm considering them as, you know, good players at the moment.
Oh yeah,
Like
100%. Yeah.
they've grown so much, and
Mm.
I mean, I enjoyed playing with them quite a bit.
And any last words for anybody out there, your teammates, anyone who supported you guys? Anything else you want to say last before I let you go? And
Yeah,
then
I mean,
come
just
back
thanks
later.
to everyone. I mean, just thanks to everyone for supporting. You know, not even if you're just supporting us, just supporting the community in general. Thanks to all the teams and the players participating. You know, because at the end of the day, you're the people that make this worth it. And then, you know, thanks to 4 Kings for making it a worthy event. You know, I mean, obviously we didn't win it out, but it was nice to have some like a team to challenge every game. You know, and every day. And thanks
And to
for
put it into the last game as well. We've never had that
yeah.
before either. So, I mean, that was, I think, the whole hype thing about it as well. You know, we had that last game this is the last game. Who's going to take it? You know, that was something new.
And then obviously thanks to every one of my teammates, you know, even Little Death being the sub there. Definitely the best sub, you know, ever, since he doesn't get load shedding and he doesn't work. So he's just always available. If you need him, you contact him and he's there, you know. So but yeah, a huge shout out to my team.
100%. Cool. I'll let you go as now I will bring in TF2 from Noz Gaming here. Mr. TF2, how are you doing, sir?
Hello, everyone. Hello, Godfather. What's up?
All good, all good. Coming in third position, how do you guys feel about your third place position here in season number 3 here in PUBG Africa?
I want to talk about the start. We used to play with O'Connor and Android and Himo.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the plan at the first, but after the second game, we added Zindan to try new things. And we found out that O'Connor doesn't fit the Africa scene. It's totally different from the EU.
For sure.
He's supposed to be an IGL, and it doesn't work for him. So we decided to play without him and see if we can do better in the finals. And that's what happened exactly.
Okay, so you guys changed up. You had some roster changes. You guys had some, you know, internal battles, let's call it that way. I mean, group stages, you guys come out, you have the most points. We know it's like even you guys said that, you know, group stage mean nothing. It's only the finals that mean it. But obviously that gave you, I'm sure that would have given you guys confidence going into the finals, being on top of the group stages there.
I hope we hope we just play as together. We continue the next season and trying to be the first.
They try and get to the top spot there as well. I mean, obviously, it was still a good season for you guys. I mean, third position is still a decent position there as well. I mean, we were talking about it before. I mean, you did have the second last game, match number 19, yourself and I think it was 18 that disconnected, if I'm not mistaken, out of the lobby as well. And that, you know, that could have also threatened your third position there with high voltage, the way they were playing as well. I mean, some tense moments there as well, I would say.
Yeah, it was stressful, but actually it was one of the best games we played.
Okay.
Because like it was so funny. They just played as two men, and I give calls from the live stream, and it works.
Awesome. Any last shout outs for all your fans or your teammates or anybody else? Anything you lastly want to say here for anybody on the stream?
Yeah, thanks for everyone who follow us, and we will try to get the first spot the next time for them, of course.
100%. Hope to see you guys there. It's definitely, I'm looking forward to seeing what Nas Gaming can bring in to the next season. Thank you so much here, TF2, for joining me this evening. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next season.
Thank you.
Cool, 100%. And now we're going to be moving on to our PUBG African admin team here. It's going to be myself, Viking, and Mr. Kinghorn joins us here as well.
Maybe just give a slight introduction into who Kinghorn is and what he's been doing, I guess.
Kinghorn is our business side of things. Let's call it that, eh? I think that's a fair assessment. Yeah. He's our business side. He gets all the, you know, companies together to give us this whole platform, you know, to give you guys the platform to play for a prize pool as well. So this is why we brought in Kinghorn here. Give you guys a little bit of a name, a face to the name, I guess. We're gonna call it that.
Yeah.
Kinghorn, from your side of things, I mean, you've obviously watched out. You're one of the moderators here on the PUBG African League as well. From your side, how do you think Season 3 went?
I think from a competitive point of view, we couldn't have asked for a better final. It doesn't matter which way it went. I think esports still prevailed at the end of the day. It still showcased that it's a harsh competitive environment. I think we can definitely build on that foundation. I mean, we've grown in teams. There's way more teams than last season that's actually a little bit more competitive. So that number of competitive teams are growing, and that's a good thing for our scene to build on.
100%. I mean, that's what we all want, you know, make it competitive. I think, like we've all been mentioning, Viking yourself as well, this has probably been has been the most competitive. We expect a little bit more competitiveness out of, I would say, the top 5, I would say. But I mean, yourselves and Four Kings had a little bit of a different idea there, I would say. But I mean, overall, it's been a hell of a lot more competitive.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at, like, we had a two horse race in the Season 2 as well, now in Season 3. But if you look at the overall team's performance, you know, everyone was contributing to the points, you know. I think the lowest team is Fractus Elite. Unfortunately, they had their circumstances, you know. But I mean, if you look past Fractus Elite, every team was dealing damage. And looking at that, yes, we can say we're upset with, like, a lot of the teams that didn't make the top 8. But if you were to put them in the top 8, we would be upset that the top 8 that moves down to bottom 6, like bottom 8, we would be upset with them. Because in all honesty, I think any of the top 16 teams are teams that are able to make it into the top 8. And unfortunately, you are going to have your winners and you are going to have your losers, you know. But definitely, if you compare the teams in the top 16 from the season to the top 16 from season 2, the overall capabilities were much higher.
100% agree with that. And coming back to like the whole PUBG in general, obviously we all, us three here, we pretty much run the whole thing, you know, myself and Viking do a lot of the admin work, and behind Viking being more of the community manager side, I'm doing more of the tech and obviously the casting side of things as well, with King on there with the business sense. Going on the business sense of stuff, obviously King on looking into the future, what are you trying to push for PUBG Africa going into the future here?
Well, I think let's go back to the start. I mean, a year, yeah, you can take it. 1 year ago, we had nothing. We knew PUBG is a top 3, top 5 most played game on Steam. There shouldn't be any reason for our scene not to have one. And I think when we all came together, it started off with customs, and we all had a goal in plan to say that let's take this one step further. I think as a greater community, I think everyone came together nicely. And I think that set the foundation of going forward. And I mean, that's why we started PUBG Africa, because just putting it on region-based doesn't make business sense at all, considering the fact that we don't have Africa or South African servers. But I mean, we've done our homework. We eventually got to the right people. And from an organization's point of view, one thing, or my motto, is to get the private sector involved. And that has flourished, and that has given us a sustainable foundation to grow our scene as a continent, because we got invited to the Nations Cup. If you told me that 1 year ago, I would have said to you, no, you must be high on something. But, you know, and there are way more international guys coming onto our scene while looking at our streams and, you know, all of that. So the bigger plan is obviously we're going to get to a crossroad whereby we're going to make some changes, but it's going to be as a collective. One thing this community must understand, I know there's a issue with North and South, but we're here as a collective. If this thing burns up, you know, there won't be any North versus South. We play this game together with your mates or your besties or whatever the case might be. As long as the game and esports prevail, I'm a happy camper. So our next couple of focus, or our KPIs or our scopes, there's a couple of things that we are looking to put in place with Crafton, but obviously with everything in life taking time, we just have to be a little bit more patient, but there's definitely much more things coming to our scene.
100%. I mean, we know in SA specifically, we haven't done much research done in the North in essence, but one of the only TOs that's sponsored by the game. You mean that? I think for us, that's the big achievement as well. I think that's one of the, I think something we can be proud of, and I think our whole community can be proud of, because it's not just us, it's everybody that supports this has made this possible for them as well.
I think you know, when we started this 1 year ago, I don't think Crafton was in our focus point, but you know, it's what you believe in, and if you thrive in it and you strive for it, you can get to that top gun. And I mean, you know, and it wasn't that difficult if you think about it.
Yeah, it wasn't actually.
You know, for us, the 3 months felt like ages.
Yeah,
but long and behold, we are the only TO we 1 year in, and we are the only TO sponsored by the gaming developers themselves, and with the private sector involved at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, we had We Buy Cars as well coming in here as well. I mean, that's been a great relationship with them as well. I mean, even we got our podcast that's solely sponsored by them as well. I mean, I've seen a couple of Twitter posts coming out from a couple of the guys here in South Africa, because it's predominantly a South African team. But I mean, you know, buying or selling their car or buying a car out of We Buy Cars as well. So, hey, we've done our job here, you know.
Yeah, and I had a chat to the marketing guys a couple of weeks ago. You know, what's nice about the fact that We Buy Cars is involved is the fact that the scene caters for all ages, all of our gamers. I mean, you have guys like Viking students. You know, you have guys like us working. So it definitely caters for every aspect, and that's a good thing. And I think that's a long-lasting partnership.
100%. And then coming to the community side of things, obviously Viking, you dealing with all the community side of things. It's been a long season. we were speaking about it the other day. I think both of us are pretty knackered at the moment. I mean, I think a good break is now needed.
Like, I don't think anyone understands how many problems I get, like, I need to solve every day. Like, every person that messages me, like, probably thinks it's something small, but if you add, like, every 10 people messaging me every day, like 10 small problems every day, like, takes up quite a lot of time, you know? So, and then sometimes it's like the most stupid stuff that people ask me or want me to do. And like, so yeah, I mean, obviously that's why I'm there. I'm there to help. I'm there to make it better for everyone in the community. But yeah, a break would be really nice.
100%.
It got a bit much.
Yeah, 100%. We've done a couple of things. I mean, we're looking to expand a lot more into more of the production side of things as well. I know that's one aim for us as well. I mean, you mentioned it there, King, on like those 3 months. I think were those first 3 months when we were at the beginning of this year felt like the longest. I remember Viking and myself staying up to like 3:30 sometimes in the morning, just working on the stuff, making sure everything's good with the Discord, and getting the bots up and all the tech stuff to alleviate a lot of our admin stuff.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're only 2 people, and there are some issues still here and there. But I think, like, for the 2 of us managing all of that, I think, we did our best.
For sure. Any last words, King Horn, before we close out this day, this whole season 3 finals done and dusted? We hear it was a good hype game for the last game. Any final words?
Yeah, I think by having the numbers, you as the community and the players, make things a little bit interesting every season. Every season up until now has been a hype. This has been like the most hype final. Me, I'm in the middle. I have to be, but I mean, when I had my Inex hat on yesterday, I was like, this morning I was like losing a World Cup final. I was like down and out, But in the greater respect for the community, I've retired as a PUBG player, but when I see guys coming back, one guy moving into another team, there's an additional team, that's growth. And as long as we can see that there's growth potential, we must obviously just keep on that, because we're building this thing as a unit and as a community. Yes, you guys are doing the playing, but I mean, from our point of view, we make sure that there's funds in order for you guys to get rewarded for putting in the hard work. I mean, Four Kings, I know my guys, they put in immense amounts of hours. So, just to get them some reward makes my life a little bit easier to prove that there is a scene on our continent. So, yeah, thank you for everyone.
Perfect. Yourself, Viking?
Yeah, no, I think, we've achieved a lot throughout the year. And I'm quite happy with all of it, And now we're striving for even bigger things. And I think you can ask that in chat, So I mean, Godfather, what lies ahead in the new year from your perspective?
My perspective, I think more tournaments. Let's see what we can do there. Obviously, we want to create a couple more things, maybe, give even more back to the community, I would say. But I mean, I would like the whole production side of I want a really good production side of things. So that's why my main aim going into the future is give you guys even a better show than what I think we've given a better show. I'm not going to try and, boast up too much, but I think we've given quite a good show throughout the seasons here. But I want to even make it even a better show, more interactive for the viewers to be watching, and even the players as well. So that's kind of where I'm going towards for now, and then make it really, really a proper show. Let's try and
you just got a baby, and now you want to spend more hours, because I can only see the amount of hours you're going to put in with this.
Yeah.
Aren't you doing diaper changes or something?
You see, I clean a lot of bottles, so I get removed of the diaper changer, so that's all good. But I mean, yeah. So Viking, you completed your final thought there?
I mean, I just like a big shout out and thank you to everyone. You know, if you're a viewer, a player, doesn't matter who you are, if you're part of the scene in any way. You know, a big shout out to you and thank you.
100%. From my side, guys, thank you so much for joining here on this ride. This year as well has been pretty intense as well. Season 3 is done and dusted. It's been an epic season, that's for sure. It's been one of the best seasons. We got one of the highest viewed season as well, which is all thanks to you guys as well. All the viewers, the fans, the supporters, the players, everybody there. Thank you so much for joining in. To the gentleman on my right hand side, it is my right hand side, thank you so much for the support there as well. But yeah, guys, until the next season, when we will be back in 2022, maybe something in between, we will see how things go. But until then, guys, from all of us here, a big thank you and cheers for now, guys. Cheers for now. Let me try and get to this end screen. I'm actually screwing this one up. Anyway, cheers for now, guys. Have a good one.